time for Building a Better Flagstaff, brought to you by our good friends at Habitat for Humanity. And we're joined in studio by Jim Truncali. He is one of the newest starter home owners. Good morning, Jim. How are you?
Great. Thanks for having me, Jeff.
Thanks for being here. Give us a little bit of your background, if you don't mind.
Yeah, so I'm from Cottonwood, Arizona, not far away, and I moved to Flagstaff in 2007. I went to NAU, and I've just been kind of plugging away on the path to success ever since I got up here, but it's not easy. And you go to school, you take out a lot of student loans. A lot of times it's not clear what you want to do, and so you just keep putting one foot in front of the other. I kind of arrived recently in a place where it seemed like a good idea to try to invest in a home, but right now in Flagstaff, the home prices are through the roof. And so, it's just a little bit crazy where you're realizing, you're part of a community, you're working full time, and you can't afford to live in the town that you live in. Yeah,
what kind of work do you do?
I'm a massage therapist.
Okay,
oh, nice.
Very, very cool. All right, we'll have to we'll remember that. It's like over there. Yeah, she really needs that. So listen, being one of the new starter homeowner programs, how did you first hear about it? That's number one. And then a lot of people, they hear about this stuff and they're like, oh, that's a great idea, but it'll never happen for me. So what inspired you to go ahead and put in your application?
Yeah, so I have a neighbor who works for the food bank, and I believe I heard about the program from him because I think the food bank works, in some relationship with Habitat for Humanity and the Restore Project.
Right.
So that's how I first heard about it, but when I heard about it initially, it was like the same day that the application was due. So my neighbor comes and he's just like, hey, if you haven't heard about it, there's this, first-time homebuyer program and the application is due today. And I'm like, well, I get off work at 5. And he's like, well, that's like when the application is due. And so there was no way for me to get in on that first round of applications. But I did try to get in on the second round of applications. And at that point, obviously it was for just one single home.
Yeah.
So most people didn't get accepted to
right,
that one.
Right.
And so this third round, I put in my application, and I feel like I was a good candidate at that point, actually, because a little bit of time had gone by. I just recently paid off my student loans, got a little bit of a savings, which I think made me a good applicant for the candidate. Obviously, one of the big benefits of this plan is that it's a way for people to build equity and to save. And so I think the fact that I showed good credit and showed some history of savings made me appealing to the program.
Well, was it one of those type of situations where you applied and then just kind of forgot about it, just went on about your business like, oh, if this happens, it happens, and if not, we'll move on to plan B? Or were you like constantly trying to check in and like, where are we at in this application process? Because I can imagine it could create a little bit of anxiety, or you could be completely kind of nonchalant and like, all right, I put my application in. If it's supposed to happen, it will. If not, we got a backup plan.
Yeah, I think the application I submitted in the fall of last year, and I didn't hear back until obviously pretty much the summer of this year.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of time in there where, I had to figure out, okay, if I get accepted, this is plan A, but what's plan B? I was, prepared to deal with reality no matter whether I got into the housing program or not, but I did have my fingers crossed for this program because compared to other programs out there, this is the only program that actually seems like it's really supporting individuals to build their own wealth.
Right.
And so, I think when you show that you are taking responsibility and you're working toward, financial well-being, that, the program will look at you and say, okay, this is the type of person that we want to give an opportunity to.
So a lot of listeners may not realize that it's, you've applied, you're accepted, you're the perfect candidate, you get the house, and that it's not, you just get the keys and that's it. So Could you tell us a little bit about the building process and how participating with everyone else that has become a new homeowner as well, what that was like for you?
Yeah, so the Habitat requires 200 hours of volunteering in the program. So that can be on the actual construction site for your home or the community that you're in, but it can also be with Habitat's other projects like their Restore. So I had the opportunity to work quite a bit on the recent construction project, and that was a lot of fun. I think I almost put in 40 hours in 10 days in addition to working my other job on that project. And it was fun because I not only got to work on my specific home that I've been assigned to, but I was able to work on the other homes in the community and work with the other homeowners there. So yeah, it was really inspiring.
If you don't mind, Jim, now I'd love that, the fact that you got to work on not just your home, but other homes. What's your best story, of your best experience that came out of that? Because I'm all about the stories and the storytelling. What's your best story that comes out of that experience?
I think it was just the other volunteers that came from all over the country to be part of this project. And when I first showed up for the volunteer, work experience, I thought that maybe there would be volunteers from, local Flagstaff, or maybe as far as Phoenix. I didn't realize that there was going to be people who had flown in from all over the country just to be part of this program. So connecting with those people and having those people come up to me and tell me that they were so excited to meet me because I was the reason why they came from various places all over the country to help people like me. And so that was unexpected and really inspiring. So I had people coming up and just wanting to take pictures, with me so that they could come back, to their families and say, hey, listen, I went to Arizona, I worked on this project to help, Jim here.
Really, really cool. We've got about a minute left. And for those who are listening, there's 30 more homes that are going to be up for grabs here in the next year or so that people will be applying for. For someone who was maybe considering applying but didn't think there was any chance, what words do you have for them?
I would say, make sure that you present yourself in a way that shows that you're committed to your long-term well-being and future. I think that the Habitat really is trying to support people who are, looking to invest in the long term. So, obviously showing good credit, showing, good work history, having some references, having a little bit of money in the bank that shows that you are saving, because at the end of the day, this program, I think, is about savings. It's about offering people the opportunity to save faster than they would, if not. And, obviously, football players and, boxers and MMA stars, they all make hundreds of millions of dollars and then are notorious for blowing it. And so, what it comes down to is, do you have the character to be able to actually save and live within your means in the long run? So no matter how much money you make, that's really what it's about. And Habitat's about supporting people who want to have that discipline and want to have that long-term goal in mind.
Good deal, Jim. It's really a pleasure talking to you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Enjoy your new home. Looking forward to talking to you again.
Thank you so much.
It's Building a Better Flagstaff, brought to you by Habitat for Humanity. We'll be back. This is CAF News Radio, 93.5 and AM 930 News Sports.
Community.